Greg Bakken here. I love historic tours of Minneapolis and seeing everything it has to offer. But if you know me, I like to include a little spooky in my tours, which is why I found the perfect combination. Minneapolis Trolley Tours does this amazing candlelight ghost tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. It is Casual Friday. It's something we all look forward to. And by the end of every week, I think we're all pretty well spent, and we want to take an hour just to kind of unravel ourselves a little bit, kind of ease into anything that, ease into the weekend, just kind of shake off the stress from the week. That's what we're here for tonight. You know how Casual Fridays work. Whatever on your mind. We have stuff we want to cover, sure, but whatever's on your mind, just let us know. You can put it into the comments, like anything you want to talk about tonight, or you can call in 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. And to help ease us into the weekend with myself, we have Adam in Eden Prairie. Adam, how are you doing today?
Hello, doing pretty well. It's my favorite night of the week, Friday night, Casual Friday. Absolutely love it.
It is fun, isn't it?
It is.
I think what I love about this is that we really try to focus on listeners and viewers. And I'm sorry, you folks make the show. Okay, I'm just going to be perfectly honest. You all, especially on Fridays, some call in with sightings that they've had, experiences that they've, experiences that they experienced. That was really a good sentence. But it's always fun. And really, like last week, was it last week or week before when we had Carrie call in and pretty much scared the hell out of us with her house stuff. That was pretty intense.
That was intense. That was that was very close to a lights on night.
So I mean, once again, folks, do what you need to do. Call in, put something in the topic. We have question of the week that we'll get to later. I had dinner pretty early tonight. I went over to Pompeii Pizza with a friend, and I think we ate around 4 or so. So once I'm done with the show, I'm going to be hungry. I think tonight, God help me, I think I'm going to go to Taco Bell tonight and get some tacos and call that a weekend, I guess.
Okay,
I don't know.
It's not Tuesday, so why are you going to tacos?
Well, because it's open.
Yeah, true, that's right. Taco Bell is open till God knows when.
Right. So it just, and it's like, I like Quick Trip. Don't get me wrong. I haven't turned on them, but it's just like you go in and it's like, well, do I get, first of all, they don't have hot dogs on the rollers after 7 p.m. or something like that. So I'm, I need that.
And at least at Taco Bell, you can grab a Baja Blast.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's a Mountain Dew. That's actually pretty good. Surprisingly enough. Granted, though, I hadn't really drank Mountain Dew since I was like 16, but a number of years ago, me and a couple of buddies decided to road trip down to Chicago for a Riot Fest concert festival out there. And the only thing open after the show was Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I had my first Baja Blast. And it's like, wow, a Mountain Dew I can actually tolerate.
Now, I just want to, Brandy, I want to let you know I have your comment here. We will get to that. Because we're going to be getting a couple other things out of the way first, but I just want to let you know we're going to get to you. But I do think that your story has been cut off in the comments only because I think StreamYard has a limit. So I just want to let you know that. But Emily says that get the Cinnabon thingies at Taco Bell. Seriously, trust me on this. So do I go up to the drive-through and I'm like, I'd like an order of the Cinnabon thingies, please, and they'll know what I'm talking about.
Well, it'll be after 11 p.m. on a Friday night in Minnesota where weed is legal. Yeah, the Cinna thingies will work at the drive-through.
Well, I'll probably be the most.
You'll be the only sober person in that drive-through.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I mean, just like the fact that I could say taco, probably they'd applaud me. I don't know, but
they might give you something for free.
Right? Just like,
you
can bronze me or something. Yeah.
You can enunciate. You're not at the mumbly stage yet. Here, take
it. Not yet. But give it time, and it won't be because of booze or drugs. It's just the general state of the situation, I think. So a couple things that we wanted to talk about, at least in this segment, that I find that we're all very excited about. In fact, I think that Adam has been jumping out of his skin over this one. And in fact, Adam, if I may, I'd love for you to tell us what you're so excited about coming up here.
All right, I definitely will. So Greg told me this a few months ago, and I have been wanting to tell the world and everyone else. But coming up in November 8th, 9th, and 10th, if you're in the Twin Cities or if you want to travel, Greg and I will actually have a table at Twin Cities Con this year. We'll be in I would imagine, the local retailer section, which is perfectly fine. But we're going to be out there answering your questions, hopefully selling some GhostBox gear, which hopefully will be released by then as well. And it's going to be an absolute blast. We're going to be out there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not only are we going to be there, but if you're a real Star Wars fan, the Emperor Palpatine's going to be there, and so is Darth Vader himself, Hayden Christensen. If you're a Young Guns fan like I am, Lou Diamond Phillips is going to be out there. But if you're a horror movie fan, he was also in Bats, if you remember that great flick. He's going to be there. A lot of anime folks, some comic book folks as well. It's going to be a good time. They're professional wrestlers out there. One of my favorites, Hall of Famer Sting. He will be there. If you remember him from WCW, WWE, and AEW, he'll be there signing autographs. It's going to be an absolute blast. Please swing by, say hello to us as we are at Twin Cities Con, and I will be totally blunt and honest with everyone. When Greg initially texted me that we were getting in, I legit started to cry. I legitimately was crying with joy.
Well, that's good. That's why, and I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but that's why I wanted you to talk about it, because I know it means so much to you. I mean, it means a lot to me too. Don't get me wrong, but it's really fun to see how excited you were for it and make it good. And my question is, though, during the course of the few days that we're there, can I pay one of the wrestlers to body slam you onto our table and have it crack in half?
Oh, dude, I will pay for that. You don't even have to whip out your wallet. I will pay for that. If Swerve Strickland or Sting or Danhausen, very nice but very evil, wants to put me through a table, I am more than happy to allow him to do that.
This table is closed for the weekend now. Yeah,
wow.
I think
that would work.
All right.
We can post that on your Patreon. So if anybody wants to see me get thrown through a table.
I don't actually, Adam. Just, I'm going to have a human moment here. I don't want to see you thrown through a table. I mean,
my wife would probably like to see me thrown through a table, but that's neither here nor there.
You remember, and I don't know if they do it anymore, like during like the AWA wrestling, I remember that They would do the commercials for the cars and stuff, the car dealerships, and
Hmm.
the wrestler would take the person talking and pile drive them through the windshield.
Oh yeah.
Like, what on earth? I mean, come on.
There was
Um,
recently Ric Flair doing that, putting a car dealership guy in a figure four leg lock at the end of the spot. So that still happens.
hmm. It seems well, and back in the day, the used cars and stuff. I mean, they're everything. All that whole environment has changed quite a bit over the last, you know,
Oh yeah,
I'd like to say 10 years, but I mean, like when I was watching it, 40 years.
the last 10, 15 years, yeah, it's gotten a lot less violent because of really advancements in knowing what CTE is. You know,
CTE.
concussions. Yeah, post
Oh,
concussion
okay.
syndromes. Yeah.
I don't. I
Sorry, I
don't do
went
anything
medical.
with.
My
Yeah,
bad.
no. I mean, I am not a doctor. I will be perfectly honest about that. Or know anything about anything. So there is that too. So yeah, no, I mean it's really cool, and yes, I'm excited. Ian McDermott has just been added to Twin Cities Con, and like just like you said, like Wednesday they announced him,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
He's going to be there all weekend. Hayden Christensen is going to be there just on Saturday only. There's so many fantastic people going to be there, and Sting is only going to be there Saturday as well. Um, there's a lot of people. I'm gonna admit I don't know everybody on here. I'm not well versed in all this stuff, but I know if you looked on there, you're gonna find people that you would like to meet. And like even like Timothy Zahn, who has written a lot of Star Wars books.
Hmm.
Just man, there's some great people coming out there.
This
That's
is
all I know.
Yeah, if you like that Star Wars canon when it comes from the comic series or the independent books that were written post Return of the Jedi, they've got like 4 or 5 of those authors and illustrators out there. So that's going to be a blast to go to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lisa says that probably showing my age, but I loved Kevin Nash, also known as the Big Sexy.
For life, yes.
What?
NWO, baby. That's
Yeah.
right in my
So,
wheelhouse. I mean, I'm wearing an Iron Sheik hoodie. I mean, come on.
where are you getting this stuff from? I don't like
Uh,
who sells that.
Honestly, I don't remember where I found this one.
It was
I
it
legit
just was on your bed one day, and you're like, I shall wear this forever.
No, every once in a while I won't go to the WWE store. I'll just start looking at all the independent sellers and be like, "Oh my god, Iron Sheik or Umaga." Yes. So I'll buy, wrestlers that a lot of people didn't either A like at the time or B just never really sold a lot of merch because they were usually bad guys on TV.
Heels.
Yes, heels.
So speaking of merch, I sent over my files for my T-shirts that we're doing for GhostBox Radio. I sent them over. Gritty Gear is going to make them for us, and we are in a great partnership with them about it. And I showed you the designs on Wednesday, and they
Hmm.
seem all right.
Yeah, I liked all of them. And I'm not just saying that because you're my friend and kind of my boss and, being here, but I enjoyed all of them, especially the alien one. And when you folks see this, the alien one is by far my favorite.
I like it too. Yeah, no, I think I'm really looking forward to getting those out there because, I mean, Adam, you're gonna wear pretty much anything we give you. So I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that's. But I would love to see, just in random passing, somebody wearing one of our shirts, and just be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Okay, that we do matter. That's all I want to know is that we matter.
And believe me, I'll be sporting them all over the place. So I plan on
Yeah.
getting a few of them.
No, I'm excited for it. And then I didn't do any hoodies yet, but I'm going to do hoodies. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. So, folks, once we once we know what is what, we're gonna put that out there. So hopefully, some of you will support us and get some shirts, and we think they look pretty cool. So, and Linda says Adam works for clothes.
You should have seen me at another radio station I worked for. Everything was promotional wear.
Well, and I still see people wearing the AM 950 shirts that we did as well, that Gritty Gear did.
And I dig the
So
hell out of those shirts, man. I'm telling you, that design with that color just works.
it really does, and we were Laura Headland had suggested when we had talked this week about the debate party. She's like, "Are you going to give any of those shirts away or sell them?" And unfortunately, there isn't time to make a bunch more. But I think there needs to be something at some point where people can get those online if they want to do so. And
Mhm.
what I really liked about one of the shirts I did has a little icon of a spirit box in it. In the display, it says AM 950 in it, and I thought that was kind of fun.
I do like that one where it's got like the four in a row. That was cool.
Exactly. Let's see. A shirt with a fancy ghost box would be fine. Ooh, fancy. Yeah, that doesn't really equate to the likes of us. If you don't mind me saying so, Adam, we're not necessarily fancy over here.
The only way it would be fancy if by some chance we could have gotten Linus on the shirt.
Oh, is Linus watching? Oh, yep, there he is.
Uh,
There he is. He's watching.
he's plotting your
Uh,
death.
well, he's been doing that for years, and he's tried actually a couple times. Carol says the shirts sound fun. Can't wait to check them out. Yeah, I'm hoping that we can start talking about or showing them off soon. And we also have a couple other things going on, and hopefully this has been confirmed, but we just want to double confirm, I guess, where next Wednesday, hopefully doing the show live from 300 Clifton Mansion. The people that do Minneapolis trolley tours, they own that mansion, and that I'm hoping to do the show live from there. Adam will be at the station. It's not an investigation, but we're just going to do it live from there. And then we're hoping then as well that we're going to have an event that's not confirmed yet prior to October, but then we're really hoping that October 31st, we are doing another 3-hour live show on October 31st, Halloween, from the 300 Clifton Mansion, and including an investigation and all sorts of things. And there's people in the chat that I think I'm going to ask to see if they want to join in the investigation. So, Adam, I mean, this is our spooky time, and it's getting really starting to get very busy. That's for sure.
Well, starting September 1st is Halloween Eve.
It is. It truly is. And it's and I have, what is it called again? I've already forgotten what it's called that I'm doing. And I had this up here and now it's gone. Haunted Rock Island Roadhouse Paracon. I am doing that. I'm a guest there, even though I'm not listed. So that's makes me feel great. So it's because I'm going to be actually broadcasting from there, not for the station, but we're going to be doing some live streams and stuff during the day there. So we got that, and then I'm going to be doing at least two more Refine Divine events in October. So we're busy bees over here. Moon Girl, Mistress of the Paranormal. Hello. If you haven't had a chance to check out her episode, she's been on about 3 times with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. So go and find it over at ghostboxradio.com or, of course, Spotify and anywhere you get podcasts. Adam, I think what we need to do is I think we need to take our first break. When we come back, let's see here. Brandy has a story that she put into text that she wants me to read, something that just happened this week. We have question of the week. Anything on your mind, put it in the comments or give us a call. This is going to be a great show. Thank you all for joining us. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. And as we just talked about the Minneapolis trolley tours, and we just talked about the 300 Clifton Mansion, we're hoping to have more stuff to talk about while we're working with them, and that we're in our very spooky season right now. But we're also looking at doing stuff that goes beyond Halloween as well. So there's a lot of great stuff coming up here. And once again, if you go out and you do a candlelight ghost tour, or any kind of ghost tour with Minneapolis trolley tours, can you please do me a big favor and say that you heard about them? through our radio show, because it just is that wonderful community of we're all helping each other, and I would really appreciate that 100%. We still need to get Adam out there. That will be fun to have you check out all the tours and stuff, and the mansion, which is beautiful. It's just it's so amazing.
I definitely want to do it because I can't tell you how many times I pass buildings in Minneapolis when we're in down in town and stuff, and you just kind of walk by or drive by, and it's like, that's haunted.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so there's a lot of history down there. I mean, everywhere there's a lot of history. I get it, but a lot of history down there. It is Casual Friday, so anything is on the table. If there's something you want to talk about, put it into the comments. And Also, you can call in 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. When we started, Brandy had put something into the comments section, and yeah, it's all not there, but she sent it to me also as a private message. So I'm gonna read it from the private message, and we will go from there. Brandy says, a couple nights ago, it was around 3:30, 4 a.m. My cat was so restless. He just kept crying and trying to get my attention more than usual. Just wouldn't stop, so I felt something may be wrong. I got up, and as I was going downstairs, I got this a really weird vibe, like super vibrations. I came around the corner, and there was a 7-foot black alien like silhouette standing in the corner of my kitchen. Of course, it startled me, and then bent over to grab my cat, and when I looked back upwards, it was gone. What do you think? I feel as if it has been back, haven't seen it again, but feel it. Boy, I'll tell you. My instinct on that sort of thing is very much like yeah, I don't think that that's something that that is in your mind. I don't say that trying to scare people. I know Brandy is very well into this culture, so I'm saying it is not going to scare her, but it is like I would agree with you that the best tool that we have for paranormal ufology, any sort of investigation, is our own body. So, in my experience, which I've talked maybe too much about with people, is simply that you gotta go with what you feel. You have to if it resonates with you, accept it. So if you're like, I think it's a silhouette of an alien. I think there's aliens that are kind of looking in on me. I wouldn't be so much like, oh no, not at all. I think, yeah, I think that's something to keep in mind. And then she goes on to say she's had many visits from extraterrestrials. So yeah, I mean, so the question is, what are they doing in there? What's happening? And I find that to be also very interesting, because that's probably not the first time, but in my experience, when I've had them in my house, I've always felt like that they are there. They're kind of a shimmery thing for me. But in the night that I had the spirit box incident back in February of 23, it was more like in my room there was something in my corner, and it was like shadowy. So I'm there 100%. Stacy, maybe not much for Stacy. Stacy says that's a big nope for me. Time to move. I'll tell you something, Stacy, that might be even more scary. They're not attached to the house. They're attached to you. You're a case study for them. They're your family is a case study for them. So, and I've talked to some people, including Kathleen Martin, who was on the show a few weeks back, and they all kind of agree that it's not so much like you are a random specimen, so to speak, that it is a lineage that they are studying.
Hmm.
And so there is a lot there. So uh let's see. Moon Girl says that I've had an experience with extraterrestrials, but it wasn't a topical. You mean typical alien? It was more mechanical. And I would like to say, in my opinion, that grays are more. I believe that that's more of their function, if it was a gray. that it was that their function is more administration and more of the scientific, and just there isn't that much emotion. They're thinking on a vibration that's much higher. Brandy says, I believe they visit me to sort of level me up vibrational wise. Very interesting. What do you think, Adam?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind is if for our listeners, and I know you obviously remember it when we did our 2 hour alien special before we went 5 nights a week. We had Shar, we had John from Wisconsin, and we had the late John Yost on as
Mm-hmm.
well. And
Yep.
that to me, what Brandy was talking about, and the constant visitations and looking over, reminds me so much of John's story from when his first experiences. I believe he said he was like 8, 9 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
then they would just follow him to where he's at a rap party, if you remember
Yeah.
him talking about that, and him and other people saw a ship go over the top of the house where the rap party was. So Brandy's story right there just reminded me exactly of what John had said back at our alien special. And yeah, I really feel like if you're tagged, if you will, by aliens, they're going to continue to follow you.
I think so. I really do, and I think it goes, because even like Catherine talked about Betty and her husband, and that Betty's sister had seen something like the year before. I think it just really goes to show that they're keeping their eye on there. And I think Jeremy York, we had him for my ghost story for Myth or Mystery, and he was talking about it. But they had his mom, and then his I think his aunt had seen something before as well. So I think that there is um, I think that there's something to be said about that. A couple things here in the comments. Brandy says, I was nervous at first, then was bummed it disappeared. Don't worry, it'll be back. And let's see. Emily says, I have an interesting theory, kind of about raising vibration. Okay. But we don't talk about it, I guess. Okay, that's fine. Uh, so here's something that kind of annoyed me that happened at Ghost Stories on Wednesday. And if the person's listening, please know I'm not trying to single you out, but I think it's an important lesson to learn. I started talking about my alien experiences, and she's all into ghosts and stuff. And this is what prompted my question of the week. And she's all into ghosts and stuff. And I started talking about my alien stuff, and she kind of like, oh, were they like gray and small? And she's laughing at me like, oh, are they gray and small too? And I just looked at her and said, here we just remember, and just like this show is GhostBox Radio, this is a safe place. This is a place that you're not going to get any judgment for anything that you tell us here. You're not going to get judgment from Adam. You're not going to get judgment from me. What you're going to get is a group of people who are going to listen and want to participate and maybe even help out and help you figure out what it might be. And I kind of schooled her, and she felt really bad about it. I don't want to go into too deep with it, but it is important that these are safe places. And if you're going to come to something like Ghost Stories, or if you're going to come into a show like this, it's okay if you're skeptical about stuff, but also remember this stuff means something to a lot of people. And you want to make sure that you are respectful for it, because there's going to be something in your life, may not be paranormal, but something in your life that it means a lot to you, that other people are going to be like, it doesn't mean that much to me. How would you feel in those situations? So, I felt that was very interesting, and that made me think about this when Brandy is sharing a very personal story with us tonight.
And especially when it comes to this show, obviously Ghost Stories Beyond, even doing your spirit box sessions on your Patreon that you do, this is a safe spot. And frankly, if you're not going to respect the other listeners who are in the chats with you or tuning in and calling in, we don't need you.
There we go.
Yeah,
Not
I'm not going to
welcome
beat it
here.
around the bush. If you're going to be that guy or that girl, just go.
So you might see me like moving my arms over here. Linda had mentioned it before. I'm seeing some extra shadows over here tonight, and so I'm just kind of trying to recreate it. Is it me? There was one that when I was just talking, that is it's just kind of there's something that showed up to my left there. I can't account for it. That's fine. Come on. We got a microphone. We were talking about a myth or mystery last night, haunted dolls, and mine did not move. It was very disappointing. Let's see here. I got a couple questions here in the comments for us here. Stacy asks, do you think they are still attached to you after you die, like in the spirit world? That's a fantastic
Hmm.
question that I do not have. I personally don't have an answer for. I mean, I don't see why not. Quite frankly, I mean, it goes back to my personal like. If you heard me a couple weeks ago, meaning also last week, I guess, when I talked about are we confusing spirit activity for alien activity in certain cases? What if we are? And what if that's one of them? And sometimes you might pass and it's your essence is captured or something. I don't know. It's very interesting. Adam, do you have a thought on that?
My theory is that if you are, I don't know if I want to use the term lucky enough or fortunate enough, or if you happen to be one of those individuals where you do have alien encounters multiple times, if it's one of those situations where, yeah, it looks like they are keeping tabs on you, I figure they probably are going to at least grab some of your energy once you pass, because they've been spending all this time with the physical and likely the mental and spiritual portion of you during these alien encounters, that there may be info that they need to grab from you once you've passed. So yeah, I believe that if you're one of those who have been in the presence of aliens, part of your essence will be with them when you pass.
I agree. I think it's very well said. Brandy also says that this is the first time I felt safe with my stories. I'm grateful for you guys, and we're grateful for you, Brandy. We're grateful that you tell them to us because all these experiences. I don't call them stories. I'm calling them experiences. We are learning from each other, and I appreciate that. So thank you very much. Let's see here, Stacy. We read hers. Brandy. Carol says, do you think the alien that visits Brandy finds that maybe she gives off a trusting feeling and that they feel they can go to her? I mean, I think anything is possible. I think what, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, that could be horribly wrong. I feel like if it's like a gray, that they are there for something more of just non-emotional sort of work. Whether it's like they're just studying, they're taking notes, they're watching what Brandy's doing, they're all this good stuff. Basically, what it is, in my opinion, is if it was a different type, and this is where this person kind of gave me a hard time on Wednesday when we were talking about Palladians, and she's like, Palladians, there's where you get that from? It's like, you know, don't be so quick to turn, to be ill of what we're talking about here. And that's just something I thought of. So it's possible, Carol. I mean, I certainly don't know. I just find that in my limited experience that I think that they're more ground level. Maybe that's the worst type of way of saying it. Let's see here. Lisa says, my judgy Virgo would have said, read the room, Karen. Yes, but and trust me, I mean, my first instinct is to go from zero to angry really quickly. But I do feel like that there are moments of being, and you know this. I know you're just putting out a comment that's kind of fun. It's There is that moment of this is a teachable moment. If you're not going to learn from it though, then the Greg will come out. And we also had to explain a little bit too. It's just a paradigm shift with how she thinks about like spirit communication and stuff. And here's the thing, to her benefit and to her credit, once we explain things a certain way, she was just like, oh yeah, no, I get it, that makes a lot of sense. And so that makes it worthwhile, because it might have came off where we were just like I could have been like, how dare you and whatever else. It turned out to hopefully, she understands, and now I understand where she came from. it's very Star Trek-y the way that I looked at it, I guess. Okay, so let's do this. We got a caller in line. We have Emily, but I'm going to ask Emily to hold on because we need to get a break in. When we come back, we have Emily on the line. If we don't get to question of the week, we don't get to question of the week because I'm having much more fun talking to all of you and hearing what you all have to say. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. And join us Monday on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakken. Sunday, September 8th, is actually Star Trek Day. And I thought, being a fan of Star Trek, I would like to talk about it. I talk about Doctor Who on here. Why not talk about Star Trek? It's made an impact, I think. I think it's fair to say, right? Of course it has.
I think it's made a massive impact.
I think one or two people have seen it. Join us Monday. We're going to have podcaster and associate producer on Star Trek The Motion Picture Director's Edition, Darren Doctorman, and he is from the podcast Inglorious Treksperts, which is not an official Star Trek podcast, but it might as well be because they have people like, I don't know, William Shatner on. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much bigger you can get than that, quite frankly. And we're going to have Darren on to talk about Star Trek. I don't know how far we're going to get because there's so much going on, and he has such a wealth of knowledge. I can't wait. So that's going to be Monday, and I'm really excited for that.
All I gotta say is, I know it's not. Well, it is in the Star Trek family. Brown coats unite.
What the hell are you talking about again?
Never mind. You never watched Serenity, did you?
Not one bit. Not at all.
We're done. You know what we were joking about earlier? Just third segment. We're going to... With that, I'm out. Bye. No, I'm kidding.
The running out of steam.
Yeah, I've got that music here.
All right. So, as we promised, I bet Emily has heard of... I mean, I've heard of Serenity, but watching it... Emily, have you watched Serenity?
Are you freaking kidding me? Yes, I'll be in my bunk. Absolutely.
All right.
Well, you'd have to see it.
All right. No, I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to see it. I can happily live vicariously through you and Adam about watching. I got my own stuff to watch. All right.
Okay.
So, you Hoovy and you.
Right. Well, it's not even Doctor Who. It's just hours of YouTube videos of watching people making steaks. There's some really, really incredible videos that are all from basically people like they put like a camera on them, so it's like a POV of making steaks or being a short order chef. That's the quality television I need to make sure I have time for. So,
I watch a lot of Barbecue Pit Boys, so you know what, I'm down with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Emily, what can we do? What can we do you for tonight?
Well, there's so much happening. I'm so excited for your show on Monday. Once I heard Star Trek, I have a lot of like disjointed thoughts now. I'm confused.
I'm sorry to disjoint them. That wasn't our intention tonight.
It's wonderful. Star Trek's my jam, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. I'd ask you to call in, but we're actually pre-recording it Sunday, so which is pretty amazing. That in my mind, you'd think that Darren would be like having like some big Star Trek Day activities that he needs to be a part of. So when I was like, can you pre-record Sunday? I thought he'd be like, no, I gotta. I don't know what. I don't even know what he would do, but he's just like, yeah, sure. What time? I'm open all day. So it's like, all right, here we go.
Well, we're Star Trek nerds. Every day is Trek Day. So,
That's right. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Star Trek series?
I do. Deep Space Nine. 100%.
I knew that was going to be yours. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should do. I'm sure there's quizzes out there of like which Star Trek series you choose determines the type of personality you are. And I just kind of figured that you'd be a Deep Space Nine person. I think I'm more of a Next Genner, to be honest.
I do love Next Gen, but Deep Space Nine really did have the best team of writers.
Yeah.
It was just incredible, everything about it. And Voyager was good too until it wasn't. But that's a whole other discussion.
Absolutely. Adam, do you have a favorite?
Honestly a big fan of the original Star Treks with Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner. I dug those, and I dug the movies that they did with that original cast, which is why I'm very excited for Monday's episode, because Star Trek the movie was amazing. Wrath of Khan is still one of my I'd put in my top 10 movies of all time, because that's even one where if you're not even a Star Trek fan, you can really dig Wrath of Khan.
Absolutely.
I was going to say the same
Absolutely.
thing. Yeah.
So, and Mandy says that Next Gen is hers. Danielle, who you may know, Adam, says Next Generation is hers as well. So,
Damn it, Wesley.
no. So,
Love you, Danielle.
Emily, I think you wanted to talk about raising vibrations, right?
Yeah. I had just kind of a thought about it, and keep in mind I'm just some a-hole with an opinion, so people may disagree, but
I don't know if you need to be that harsh on yourself, but okay, go for it.
Well, we're all a-holes with opinions. We're all walking a-holes. We all have one.
God almighty, jeez. All right, what is it? What is it? Are you just going to call everyone a-holes for a little while longer? It's up to you. It's your time here. Okay, all right.
I might. It's been a weird week. Anyway,
all right. Yeah.
So I think somebody was talking about, having some entity raise their vibration, but I don't think that's the way it works. I think because there is that element of free will, I think we are the only ones who can raise our own vibration. I don't think any other sort of source can do that for us. It's kind of like you can lead a horse to water kind of thing, but we ultimately have to make that choice. And that goes into part of our soul contract and things like that.
Sure. No, I think there's something there about that. And I don't know if the comment about raising vibration also could have been that just by the fact that Alien was there, that it maybe helped raise vibration as well. One of the things that for myself I've noticed is when I'm around other psychic mediums that raises my it really raises my abilities. They're like helping me raise it. Doesn't mean I'm not doing it myself. And I kind of wonder if it's a little bit like that as well, that because I do think you're right, but also just by having someone of a higher vibration, and I don't think there's anything higher vibrational than an alien, that just through osmosis maybe even is helping raise your own.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, when you're around, there are definitely certain energies that can totally help you raise your vibration. But it always boils down to whether you make that choice.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a great point. I think it's well worth pointing out too. And Brandy says that she thinks it's both. She thinks it's both. And I think, I mean, I certainly think too, if you have if you are sensing and you're sensing like an alien in the room, it's going to just also heighten everything you're doing as well. I mean, I just think that you just can't help it. It's it's one of those situations, and I'm not saying if it's scary or not, but it's just okay, now I'm aware. I'm now aware of you. I'm now aware of the situation. So I think that there's something to be said about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's almost that static in the air. When something like that is around, you can feel it. It's palpable.
Now, is this stuff you learned from Deep Space Nine, or I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
A little bit, maybe.
You know what? I never really warmed to Deep Space Nine, but I mean, literally everybody that is very into Trek, they're gonna be like, no, you gotta watch Deep Space Nine. So I know I need to eventually, but not yet. I mean, I'll certainly watch it before Serenity. Let's just put that out there.
Well, before you watch Serenity, you got to watch Firefly anyways.
Which I won't. So there's two right there. So anything else you want to tell me?
Deep Space Nine can be a little bit. It can be a little bit slow moving for the first couple episodes. Just be patient with it.
I'll do my best. Next thing you'll tell me to watch Babylon 5 or something, because that's not going to happen either. So.
Well, that one's pretty good. Then there's Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, well, if we're talking the 80s version, the 70s version, no. So, no, so it's clear we don't watch the same shows, is what I'm getting from this conversation.
Well, it's clear that you're wrong and I am right.
Get her off the show, Adam.
All right, bye. No.
All right. Thank you for the call, Emily, as always. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Crunchy.
Thank you.
All righty. Take care. Let's see here. So talking about TV, Stacy says, you are totally missing out if you don't watch Firefly.
Stacy's right. Absolutely.
And
right.
Brandy, who I do agree with, I'll stick with Doctor Who.
So. Brandy's not a real fan, though. She abbreviated Doctor.
Well, not to get too deep and geeky, but it's like, is that
you know how many times I have been complained to because I was typing it out, I put DR, and the next thing I get is a diatribe about how it's not supposed to be abbreviated?
Well, I mean, who's telling you this? It's not me.
No, actually, it's not you, surprisingly enough. I have other nerdy friends.
Oh my gosh. I mean, do you type about Doctor Who often, or?
Every once in a great while. One of my friends, Cassandra, she goes on a big Doctor Who kick, and I have seen a handful of episodes thanks to you and Pluto TV, and we'll talk a little bit about it. And I accidentally abbreviated Doctor once, and oh my goodness, I didn't know if I was going to hear the end of it.
I'm going to have on the show, it may not be till October, a gentleman by the name of Neil Cole, who has a Doctor Who museum in the UK where he actually collects a lot of the props from the classic series.
Oh, that's
and we're
sweet.
We're going to be talking about those props and stuff, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Mandy, who's trying to keep this show kind of still in the paranormal realm, I believe that proximity of higher vibrations can assist us in raising ours, like music, cats, some people, etc. 100%, right? I mean, that's meditation, which what Mandy is all about.
Yeah, that's
so 100%. Yeah,
I couldn't agree with that one anymore, to be honest with you. Even, like my dog, she will raise my vibrations. It's like my dog Annie knows when I've had a crap day, so she will like get up on the foot of the bed, come over to me, and just want lovin's. And just, petting the dog for a little while. It's like, okay, I feel a little bit better.
My cat raises my anxiety.
Your cat is trying to kill you.
Here's the thing about him and any animal, right? Is that nothing else. I mean, there are people that can do this, but very few living entities can walk in the room with just by walking in the room, your day is suddenly better. Your day is suddenly like, I'm just so glad you're here. It's just, there is something about your pets that makes life so good. And even the ones that try to trip you going down the stairs and stuff, they'll still look, he'll still look at me with those big eyes, and you're just like, oh my God, just come here. Let me just hug you.
Yeah.
Let me hug you when I'm one of the gurneys putting me into the ambulance, and just, I love you,
Come here, you furry little killer. Yeah.
Emily says, Greg, you make my day better. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. No mention of Adam. I know that she means you as well.
No, I'm good with that.
I don't know that actually.
But, I don't make anyone's day better. What are you talking about?
That's the show. It's done.
Oh, okay.
We made it till 10:57. That's not too bad, is it?
No, not bad. No, didn't think we were gonna make it that far tonight.
I was gonna say there is a possibility I might be going to Mavericks tomorrow.
There's a possibility I'm moving a bed from Waverly to St. Cloud tomorrow. I'd rather be at Mavericks with you.
Yeah, no, that's when I don't know if I'm going or not, but I know that some people are talking about going, and I just invite myself along in their plans. Like suddenly they're in the car and they're like, "How did you get in this car?" I'm like, "Hey, you're going to Mavericks." So that's just kind of how that works.
For some reason, I just got this like cartoony image of you like sliding in, like you're Shaggy because there's food there.
As far as question of the week, and we asked it, if we all believe in a lot of things, what is it that is kind of the limit for you? What is it that you don't believe in? We didn't really get to a lot of them, or any of them, I guess, really. But the consensus was the Loch Ness Monster. Most people are like, you know what? I believe in a lot of things, but the Loch Ness monster, that's not one of them. And that's my personal as well. And we have what, 20 seconds. Yours was much more deep than anything. So
Yeah, and we can cover those later, but mainly I went East Africa and Egypt with mine, and not.
yeah, I mean,
I'm not
I'm
trying to. I'm not trying to kill the tourism of Scotland. Okay.
well, and I'm like thinking people are gonna say chupacabra and stuff, but then you're just like the deepest of like, well, I think the blah blah blah. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
So,
Well,
wow,
we're gonna
those are
find out.
awesome.
We'll pick this conversation up maybe next week again or not. Monday we're gonna be doing Star Trek Day. Next week's gonna be a busy week, so make sure you stay tuned. Adam will be back with me on Wednesday and Friday. Everyone, have a great weekend.